Hi, Dave Parisi from Results Plus Personal Training in Hamden, Connecticut, the home of Fit Pro Personal Training School, and soon we're going to launch exercisebay.com. I shouldn't use the word clinical, but we're really going to pull apart every exercise that you've ever known of that's ever existed on this planet and how to do it properly. Today we're going to go over some more progressions for the straight arm plank, the push-up, the press-up, however you want to call it. When we figure out what the goal is, depending on these servants in the body that we call muscles, goal needs engineering of the body, levels of control. Okay? There is no such thing as range of motion. Okay? We never want to exceed our active range when resisted. Range of motion really depends on how far can you control the load. Even at that statement, how far can someone control a load? That's not range of motion. That's not full range of motion. There's no such thing as full range of motion. Okay? My ability to control a load might be an excessive on the glenohumeral joint. So I could be creating all types of disproportionate force loads and coming out of that equation and actually injuring myself over time. Okay? So if I do improper exercise techniques, it leads to muscular imbalances. Those muscular imbalances over time lead to faulty movement patterns. Bear with me just for one more moment. We're going to go through these progressions. If I have a paper clip, and every time I did something incorrectly, I just bent it once, put it back in my pocket, did it again, bent it one more time, put it back in my pocket. Micro trauma. Eventually that paper clip is going to break. I want you to think about that every time you do an exercise incorrectly. So I'm trying to strengthen for a straight arm exercise. What is core? How do we define core? 29 muscles in the lumbo-pelvic hip complex responsible for intersegmental stability. Okay? Is the rectus abdominis, that long, flat, superficial muscle, part of the core musculature? Yeah, it's in there, but it's not. It's more on a superficial level. Low back, erector spinae, things of that nature, internal, external obliques. I get it. They're all part of the equation, but we're really trying to work those muscles that don't move joints. The one that stabilizes intersegmentally, connect block to block, so to speak. This is a great way to start a push-up. I'm just going to hold this position. I'm looking for deviations. I want to make sure that they're holding their hip, their shoulders, etc. From here, once I establish they can do that properly, now these are things that we create. We make these up as we go along. I'm going to sit on a bench. As you can see, force load is coming out straight in front of me. Assume that I'm in a push-up position, but just cut off my lower body. I have this load throwing me backwards. Right now, I have no choice but to stabilize intersegmentally. Tighten up my abdominal wall, that little visceral effect that's giving me a column support that's stronger than the spine itself, and I have this load coming through me. I have a wood block or a yoga block between my knees. I'm adding a small adductor complex, and I just might lift my legs off the ground and just hold that position. I go back into my closed pack or sling position. It's safe. It's effective. My next progression, straight bar. But look, I'm more elevated than I was before, or less, excuse me. I'm going to hold this position. I've assessed the ability to hold this position in a perfect posture. I'm going to add a few exercise tweaks and just go through this motion. Feet together, feet wide, one leg up. I'm going to play with these motions, drop to my knees. Next progression. I see this 1,000 times in the gym, and you have an ocean of waves with people's hips. This exercise, we do not move the hip. We bring a hand up onto the step. The opposite hand, down, down, up, up, down, down. Put our feet a little closer together, it gets more challenging. We can rest. We can come back up. My next progression, this is all part of strengthening the core to get ready to do a perfect push-up. That's all it is. Plank position. This might be too excessive for somebody. Drop the knees. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fully erect plank. Drop the knees. I've assessed someone's ability to do this perfectly. I'm going to come into a straight arm. I know I can do our first plank, but I don't have the ability to push myself up, so I'm going to stay here. Come in with the knees, up, up, out, out. Come down slowly. Come in with the knees, up, up, out, out. Come down slowly until I have the ability to come down and maintain that posture. I have found a great exercise for these ab straps. Unfortunately, it's not abs. So, next to my TRX, coming from the ceiling, I have some bands going to support my center of gravity where we all crumble during a push-up. I'm coming down into a perfect anatomically correct position for the push-up. I have an external load, coil, recoil, that's going to help me during my eccentric, concentric, acceleration, decelerated movement. So I can press up, add some motion, add some variety. I could perform 10, 15 of those. I come out of my, what they call an ab strap, and I go into my regular push-up. I hope that helped you. Dave Parisi, ExerciseBay.com, coming right back at you.